Folks, Windy City Thetan Watch. I have my new vest on. It's got press on the front. I'm wearing a backpack, so you can't really see the back, but it's got the Windy City Thetan channel name on the back, as well as Ask Me About the Colt. It is Monday. We are, let's see, it's about 3:15. I'm in a little bit early and heading over to the org. I do not have the StreamYard today. I'm using the live app. Hey, no one, good to see you. Yes, I've been sneaky on you. I keep on getting you on replay. What was I going? If when the mods get in, I'll remind everybody that we want to keep on making sure that we're supporting Natalie and my Tony. Nance was in court today. I haven't heard an update. I will say that we were talking, we were chatting a little bit before court started. There was some question. She needed a picture of Chadwick so that her and her attorney could check to see who was there. The last text I have from her is that Chad did not show up. Howdy all, welcome in. So there's two things going through my mind right now. Nance hasn't been able to get it back to me because she's in custody right now, which she wouldn't be. The very most it would have been is a continuance on the process. But I'm pretty comfortable that she was correct in saying that Chadwick hadn't shown up. So hopefully this will be done and done on that process. 100%, Michelle. They are playing games. And again, I don't think they have any intention of going to trial, but they want to give the protester stress, and they want to cause the protester pain through money. Well, not that stress isn't enough pain, but they want to give the protester the stress through the money as well. Something to remind everybody is that when I'm out here, a lot of times I'm concentrating on what's going on out here in the street. I don't see all of the chats. Okay, good. Thank you, Nancy. I appreciate that. I don't see everything that goes on in the streams, right? I do rely upon the mods. Even the mods are going to miss stuff, right? That if you're unaware, the mods tend to kind of bounce around between channels because they're moderating for more than one channel. Now, I don't think it's because it's too big of a burden. They don't need to be 100% in the channel all the time. So. Hello, literally no one, and I'll reach out to Marilyn to see about that. And yeah, I have no problem with that. And by the way, you can always reach me at windycitythetanwatch@gmail.com. Again, if Fuzzy, if you have the link for Natalie and Tony, that would be great. What else do we have? I think that's about all the info I have so far on that. I'm going to turn the camera around and we'll head over to the org. One thing that will, this vest is going to help me in the idea that I'm standing out and that, as the police challenge me, I've got press written all over it, so definitely easily First Amendment elements that are going on here. But I also think about, the cat and mouse game with the body routers. I will be a little bit more easily identifiable as we get in here. Folks, if you were able to tune in last night, I finally was able to decompress and think about all of the stuff that's going on behind the scenes the last few days, and I gave you my tell-all. I will consistently be here protesting Scientology. That is the only news secret. If there's anybody who has issues with anything I'm doing or anything that they need to be talking about, my email is freely available. And if anybody in here can attest, I do respond. So we're looking down the alley. Let me give you a little bit more there. There's nothing here down the alley. Hello, Susan. Oh, earlier when I was saying, we just don't see everything in the chat all the time. Please be patient with us. We're going to miss things. The human experience is that humans make mistakes. My hope is you don't think that they're intentional. So there is somebody in a suit, but that looks like they're at the college, not at Scientology. So let's get down there. We'll get the shades closed. There is a Scientologist coming up the street. Let me see if I can get a little bit. So this one's not Scientology, but the one behind, there's two Scientologists coming up the street now. But this woman is of Asian descent. I need to start getting names on these people. So if we can, that would be awesome. Does the church let you talk about the church? No. Oh, here's our body router. She's got her stuff ready. But we're not going to let her get out. I've just given her a little wave. We'll see if we can get these shades down. So she's carrying on a conversation at the front desk there. I'm seeing one or two people here in the cafeteria. So here comes our shades. She's smiling, but she's not smiling at me. She's not even going to look at me. Thank you, girly ghost. She's struggling with that shade. She went a little bit too far down. Well, they got candles in here too now today. And so we've seen 5 or 6 people in the orb today, right? It's not empty, but it's not really well packed. So we'll see if we can, if the woman is going to try and come out and pass out flyers. She probably won't have too much success. On the way over, we were able to look down the alley, and there was nobody in the alley. So look at this woman. Look at how she has to hold the rails to get up those stairs. They're struggling with their blind tech. So they can't figure out how to get that rope down. Hey Joe, how you doing? How are you today? Persistence is good, right? They're struggling. I'm kind of keeping my eye, so I just want to watch them struggle with this blind, which is fun. But I'm also keeping my eye on the body router to not let her get too far away. How you doing? Just somebody from the flight industry walking by. Joe, I saw you had another post out today, or another video go live today. There they go. Shades down. They do have candles in the window there. So next to the books, they have little candles. Have you seen OT3 yet? Where Zeno captured all of the bad people in the galaxy and brought them to the Earth, put them in volcanoes, blew them up with hydrogen bombs? That's the origin story, the space opera of Scientology. Go ask your friends who are on OT3. It's a cult of Scientology. Do you want the cult of Scientology, Dianetics? Yeah? Ah. They do, and no music yet. Absolutely, Matt. I feel bad. I might be giving these people pneumonia. And for those of you unaware, L. Ron Hubbard said if somebody learns OT3 before they're ready to, they might get pneumonia and die. They're a human trafficking cult. They won't let women report victims of crime against them if it's by a member of this church. So if one of their members raped 3 women, the church wouldn't let them tell the police for 20 years. When the women did come forward, they were ostracized from the church. That's what this church is. They claim they're a church. They're a cult, 100% a cult.
Thank you. I'm already knowing. Thank you.
Excellent, thank you. I love it. The ladies knew everything they needed to. They were surprised by the fact that they won't let people report crimes. I do want to remind everybody, the woman that has the flyers, she's a victim. She does believe she's doing something good for the world. She's been bamboozled, right? That they strip away the individual identity. We're going up just because there's people coming by and they don't need to be on camera. So they're going to strip you of your identity. They're going to make you feel like you need to be a part of the group, and anything against the group. So we've got, sorry. Oh, I don't know how to mute this version. Sorry, folks. That was federal police. That was not city police. So, Joe, I don't know if you go chase the federal folks. Or the federalis. I'm going to head down to the end of the street because I just want to see if she's going to try and get out the back. Thank you, Dipme. If they believed in their technology so much, and by the way, they are getting more bold, they will stand there as I confront the person that they're handing the flyers off to. But still, I get the flyers away from them, right? That they can't refute anything that I'm saying. What's really interesting, if you're an ex-Scientologist, you'll know that what I just told that woman, she's not supposed to hear. And she might go ask another Scientologist if that's true or not. And the other Scientologist has to say, no, it's false. So the other Scientologist has to intentionally lie to them. Now, if that woman ever gets to OT3, she's going to find out that I just told her the truth. And my hope is, and this is something that the ex-Scientologists have told me, that at the time that she finds out that's the truth, how is she going to react or recall the idea that everybody else told her was a lie before? All right, she's not coming out the back yet. Yesterday was interesting, and I can't speak Spanish. You know what, Joe, I do have those on order. And I just watched Tori Magoo again this morning, and with a picture of her, and I used to be a Scientologist, and look at Xenu TV. Mine is pointing to I've got a QR code that points back to my website so that it'll show some of the crimes the church is involved in. And again, folks, when I say church, you all know that I'm saying, quote, church, right? When I talk to a person in Scientology, if I use the word cult, A, they don't agree with me that they're a cult, but there is no chance that they're going to respond to me if I'm giving them a derogatory slur like that, right? So yes, I do ask them questions about their church. We all know that it's a cult. Pretty sure that was another federal, but I couldn't really tell because it was unmarked. What? So just last week, the church did plant all these flowers. I think it was on Tuesday. I was out here as they were finishing up. They had the people in the Way to Happiness uniforms doing this work. Hi guys. Again, as civilians come by, I have no need to put them on camera. Well, I definitely hope that gets resolved quickly. I definitely feel, by the way, how many times am I allowed to use definitely today? I feel very comfortable and confident that the three body routers that keep on back camming me are trying to create the narrative of stalking. In Chicago and Illinois, stalking requires that I make an action that would put people in great peril. So I need to get up in their face. I need to threaten them. Either I need to threaten them with motion, or I need to threaten them with words, fighting words, in order to be stalking. Now that doesn't mean that they're not going to try to lie and deceive the police. That's what they do here. Anything positive to tell my audience about the church? Do you know anything positive about this church? Again, we've just got people coming down. I really don't like putting pressure on the neighbors, and I know that the College of Columbia students get annoyed when they're on camera. They don't want to live their lives on camera.
Not even students here, bro.
Yep. So you're okay with human trafficking? So again, the student shows that there's displeasure in the fact that they're on camera. You can tell that I've, more often than not, politely moved my camera away from them. So that was a student from Columbia. And while I was explaining that I take them off the camera, he wanted to throw shade. And it's his right to throw shade. But I'm also going to say, if you're not against, there's a victim going upstairs. If you're not against human rights, you're for human rights. I'm sorry, if you're not against human trafficking, you're for human trafficking. kind of keeping my eyes open on both sides of the street. Hey, Anastasia, how you doing today? Thank you, girl. So she brings the Bluetooth out, but it's really connected to her phone. So every once in a while, she doesn't realize that when she walks away from the speaker, the phone and the speaker lose connection. So it's not really that helpful. So one of the Scalas and one of Chadwick's buddies just went up the stairs. I'm going to head down to the alley again, see if they're trying to sneak anybody out the back. Folks, I know that there are people that think that we're harassing the church. I'm going to tell you 100%. I feel that I'm protecting my community against this. I'm trying to protect the people that are in. Yeah, I definitely hope that somebody helps Lou as well. So for those of you that are going to live stream, I strongly encourage you to make sure that you've kind of got a plan in place. Do people have your contact information? Can they get a hold of somebody who's an emergency contact if they have to? I rely heavily on my mods for that. Right? If anything was to happen to me, the mods have an action plan. Oh yeah, Lorraine, you know what, actually I don't think the fuzzy can. But Lorraine, now that I see the comment, I'll be able to add that. Thank you. Still nothing going on here in the back, so they're not trying to squeeze out the back. Let's go take a look at the dumpsters, see what's going on there. Yeah, to my knowledge, the only two St. Louis are Louis Repetto and L. Ron Lyer. So hopefully they can stay coordinated. I'm always curious. So the disrupting church services, that requires a vocalization. And again, one of the reasons why I don't use amplified sound and why I typically don't yell in front of the church, right? A, I don't feel comfortable to do it anyhow. I don't want to yell at people. I don't think they're going to respond to me if I yell at people. Oh yeah, I've got to slow down my talk or my speaking. Somebody reminded me of that last night. So these are the back doors of Scientology, all closed up. We'll take a look at the garbage cans. I don't see the lock, so I'm sure the lock is hanging. So if we look down here, we've got the Church of Scientology on the trash can. They've just got the chain hanging right there, right? So it's not in use. Oh, but you can see the shredding right there. So they have learned to shred all of their stuff. The two boxes were apple juice, so it looks like they've got some food supplies in there right now, inside the church right now. Absolutely, Lorraine. So it's very funny. Trashy went in their garbage can. About 3 days later, he was on Aaron's channel talking about all of the stuff in the garbage can and the quarry of documents that they found, which were very damning documents, right? And it was still, I think, 2 weeks later before I first saw the chain. And at that point, they had the chain, but they still weren't shredding. And then they had the chain, and they also shredded. Now, it's my understanding from most ex-Scientologists that everything's supposed to be shredded anyhow before it leaves that building. Or at least anything that has any kind of personal information on it or policy information on it. That Scientology is very secretive about their technology, and they hoard the technology, right? So they're out here to clear the planet, but in no way in the world they're going to give you any free information that would help you become clear, because that's not how you make money in a cult. Thank you, Debbie. I appreciate it. And thanks for the chat this morning. Yes. So folks, we just went through 4 or 5 days of absolutely miserable contention, and it was because people decided they wanted to air their dirty laundry. There was an episode on my channel recently. I reached out to the person in private. We came to an understanding. We helped one another understand what had happened. That's the appropriate way to handle problems, in my opinion. You can do as you wish. You get much more clicks and much more likes, and you make more money if you create the drama. But I'd rather try to solve the problem. I just saw that he was arrested in LA. I'm actually guessing that you mean he was arrested in St. Louis, but I was unaware. I didn't think that he was out in LA. Yeah, that makes more sense, because that's where he and L. Ron Lyer have been recently. All right, folks, I haven't seen, good grief. I'm trying to cover you from the ambulance sound right now. Hello, anything to share about the church? She is one of the more senior or veteran members of the staff. Folks, I'm going to run over to Dearborn real quick, because I have not seen the thin male body router, and I just want to see if he was outside the blast radius by the time I got here. No, Louis and L. Ron are two different people. I'm not sure if L. Ron, I think L. Ron's never in. Louis was, he was in, and he had a, boy, I don't know whether the word's prestigious or not, but he was very good on following policy and enforcing policy inside the church. Folks, there's a couple of the Scientologists, especially if they're more advanced in years. I'd rather develop a relationship with them and see if they want to go to dinner someday, see if they just want to talk. I think that they're more rational than the newly indoctrinated, never talk to that devil outside the org. Yeah, Louis was up there, high up there in Scientology. You will often see other ex-Scientologists refer to or try to pull Louis in to help them with some of the particulars about the training. Folks, I do have my body camera on today. I'm going to walk in the street because sometimes Half Sour has their music up kind of loud. Howdy, Papa Smurf. Welcome back, welcome in. So the black female that always wears the head dress, she tried to come out. She tried to pass out some flyers. I was able to dissuade them. One of the people, said no, but I also then told the people what they were about to receive, and they were unaware of the fact that if you're a Scientologist, you can't report to the police activities that crimes another Scientologist commits, which that was eye-opening to them. Now again, the value of that statement is they're going to go home in shock and talk to somebody else and say, oh my gosh, did you know this about Scientology? We're kind of in a bubble, folks, and I've mentioned this several times before, that we've been in anti-Scientology for quite some time. Some of us 2 years, some of us 20 years. And we think that everybody believes this. Hey, Papa Smurf, I haven't heard from Nance since this morning, but just before she went into court, she did text me saying that she was pretty sure that Chad had not shown up. Now, again, that is a pre-court message, and he might have been hiding in the back. I will tell you that the state's attorney would do lots of things like hide them in the back hallway so that nobody knows, or to try to pretend to protect this poor witness. So the most recent information I have, but again, it was like at 9:20 this morning, and court was at 9:30, was that Chad had not shown up. This morning, she asked me to send her a picture so that she could see a picture of Chadwick. She could show a picture of Chadwick to her lawyer. There was fear that there was somebody who had facial hair in there, and that it might have been that Chad had grown facial hair. Last night after my live, I went over and was on Nance's channel, and they had just finished up their tour. They went on the architectural tour last night, and it was funny. They were lost trying to get back to their car, and by the way, it's not that hard to get lost in a big city. And it was so funny, me trying to navigate through Natalie's picture to Heli Gear's phone and the delay, and I'd say, no, turn right, and it would be at the wrong time because I'm looking at the picture on the phone, so lots of fun there. But she got back to her car, and she was able to make it to court on time this morning. Up ahead of us, we've got Chad Olson, and there's a black male who has flyers in his hand. Now, I think they're going back to the org, so they would have already been doing their body routing. So, yeah, if you look at orange shorts, hey, just so you know, that's a cult you're going to. Be very careful, it's a cult. They support human trafficking. Danny Masters is in jail for 30 years to life because he sexually assaulted 3 members of that church. They were not allowed to tell the police that they had been assaulted. When they did tell the police they were assaulted, they were ostracized from the church. Don't give them your real name, don't give them your real address. You'll never get off their emailing list. They're going to give you a personality test. Then they're going to tell you have this small flaw. If you buy this book, it'll cure you. Look up Lisa McPherson. Lisa McPherson died at their hands. She had a mental break. Scientology broke her out of the hospital, and within days she was found dead. Look up the Chase Wave. They created credit cards in all of their members' names and then defaulted on the credit cards. It's so easy to research this. Have him refute anything I say. Hey, Chad, tell me something about the church. Chad, will the church let you talk to me about the church? It's probably a cult if you're not allowed to talk about the church. I'll go when I go, jackalope. My hope is that he just remembers some of the stuff I'm talking there. The whole time I was saying stuff, Chad was just laughing. Don't pay no attention to him. It is the reason that I use Danny Masterson and Lisa McPherson. They're proper nouns that might be remembered. Chase Wave, again, is an easy thing to look up. Yeah, now what I might try to do, I just don't have that much time today, is if he comes out anytime soon, I'll try to confront him without Chad there. Will the church let you talk about the church? I think that's the definition of a cult. Just got a thumbs up from this one. So she lives across the street. Oh, no, she's getting in a taxi. She might be a public. Yeah, they're going to try to outlast me, right? With the poor fellow that went in with the hoodie. They'll definitely try to outlast me. Again, the best I can do is hope that some of the things I said will be remembered and looked up later on. All right, I'm going to say that I might be a little bit self-critical, but I'm always disappointed when I'm unable to affect that change right off the bat. Now, I also have in the past thought that I lost somebody because of that, only to have that person chat on my channel a couple of weeks later that, hey, I was that guy at 13 minutes into this tape, and because of you, I went home and researched it. I'm not joining the Church of Scientology. It'll be very interesting to see how long he stays in there. I'm just going to go around back real quick to see if there's anything going on in the alley. Now, what I don't know is where they came from. Yeah, I know what direction they came from. I don't know where that flyer was handed off to that poor guy. Yeah, we're looking down the alley, and obviously we can't see anything here. Yeah, folks, let's make sure that we're keeping Tony and Natalie in our thoughts. I was watching Tori last night, and Tori had mentioned that Jesse Prince was diagnosed with stage 4, and it's now 10 years since that point in time. Now, again, every cancer reacts differently, every human reacts differently, the meds, so there's no correlation, but a diagnosis is not an outcome. So the music's still pretty loud here. One thing is, I can't call disturbing on the church right now. That I can't call disturbing on the church because it's, I think it's got to be over 80 decibels at 150 yards, or it's got to be, you got to be able to hear it 150 yards away. And just a reminder to everybody, all of this all of us in this community are going to make mistakes from time to time. That doesn't make us bad people, right? You've had people in your life that have probably done something you didn't like or done something that wronged you. That didn't necessarily make them a bad person, right? I'm somebody who believes, let's see if we can work our way through this, right? So, right, you know what, you might, I don't know if you guys saw it, right, but they were about to come out and then they walked back in. They might go out the back door, but I'll just come over here. I'm curious if there was a class or an activity going on in there, because that's the fourth aged person that's come out, or that's tried to come out. So. Will the church let you talk about the church? If you're not allowed to talk about it, it's probably a cult. Single think. Single think. Individual. Be an individual. And I do agree with many of the points that Tori said, right? A lot of the people that have been in here, you know, they were working too hard, they were working too long. They might have been out of their normal cadence. Thank you so much, Dip. I appreciate that. I just want to be diligent and vigilant in stopping the church from expanding, or do whatever I can to deter it from expanding. I'm moving away from the radio. Only because I don't think you can hear it, but it's bothersome to my ears to be able to hear it. Lisa, I assume you're being somewhat sarcastic. So something that's interesting, right, that many of you might not know, Chad Olson, right, the larger male with a red Dianetics shirt underneath his sports coat, he brought that raw meat in. And when I say raw meat, that's a Scientology term, right? I don't believe it's raw meat, but that's their term for it. So it's a new recruit or a new candidate recruit. Lady Jane, thank you. So the way that this works is the people out on the street only have one responsibility: get people in that door. When they get people in that door, it gets handed off to a different person, and that different person is responsible for putting them in front of the machine to watch a video, or putting them in front of the books to get them to buy a book, right? There's always multiple hats here. Chad's being judged on how many people he can get through that door, and then he hands the person off. That next person is being judged for how many people they convert. I think it's called convert, I'm not positive, but they're attempting to get the person to either buy a book or start a course. Excellent, lady. So we're in Chicago. Hopefully you've gotten that out of the Windy City title. We're at 650 South Clark Street. This is a new Ideal org. They opened it up March 3rd. They used to be up in Lakeview. This building is in the middle of a block. It's got a front door and a back door. The back door goes out to an alley. Oftentimes, they will try to sneak people out the back, or they'll ask the staff to come in the back if there's a heavy presence out here, so that either the publics or the staff members can get in and out of the org without hearing the protesters, right? And yes, thank you, Fuzzy, for getting that. For getting that information and sharing it. The day of, so this org has an executive director, Joey Sakala III. Joey Sakala III, his father is one of the major benefactors of this church, donates a lot of money. Not only that, he is the founder of an organization called Dream Exchange. If you go to my website, you'll see that there are plenty of people in Dream Exchange who are also on staff or have finished courses in Scientology. The number is probably north of 20. All of Sakala's children, so I think it's 3 sons, 2 daughters, are members of the Church of Scientology. I don't remember what day it was, maybe May 18th. May 18th, his son and daughter-in-law, they either got married or they renewed vows. I don't think that's the important element. Joe Sakala, I caught him on tape sneaking in the back door. And then the other thing that I really enjoyed about that is Joe Sakala's got all his friends over to watch the wedding of his children and to show off this multi-hundred-million-dollar building, and all the protesters had the front door closed and the blinds shut. So all of that money for this awesome retail space, and they have to hide from the public. Still no real activity going on back here. Joe Cicala also is a lawyer. He is the lawyer representing Chadwick Burke. Chadwick Burke is the person who claimed the assault, and again, it's such an alleged assault. There's no real evidence that contact took place. Oop, Chad came back out. Let me go see if I can find him. But he was the lawyer representing Chadwick Burke when Chadwick no-showed the first time. Now, more often than not, when I say Chadwick, I'm referring to Chadwick Burke, but there are two Chadwicks. The gentleman here in the red shirt is Chad Olson. You can naturally see, right, he's walking away. So Chad lives across the street in the Imprint buildings. He's the one that just brought the gentleman in the hoodie into the org. Sorry, I'm not watching the chat right now. I've got the camera on. Oops. Sorry, I just tried to star that. So Miss Bramlett asked, if Chadwick doesn't show again, does that set another 160 days? What's going to happen eventually is the judge is going to pissed off and just say, well, no, if he can't show up or if he can't be bothered, we're done. Now, if it does get extended, I think that 160 days that started earlier, right, on the first appearance, that 160 days, that's the deadline. So it doesn't keep on moving down another 160 days. But again, we haven't heard from Nance. I do think that, the last I knew was that she had not that Chad had not shown up at court today. My expectation is that the judge will have gotten upset and said, nope, they're allowed out. That he had his chance to come. He's not going to be a complaining witness. Case dismissed. Michael, that's possible. I will say that it was the lawyer was very clear that it was 160 days from that first court date. But I don't know if that's a one-time 160 or if it's every court date restarts that. But I don't think it was 160 from the date of the incident. Now, the attorney might have been wrong, and I might have misheard the attorney. Hey, Corn Freak, how are you? Oh, look at you with your blue cloud. Somebody's a multi-month member. Yeah, I'm not well enough versed with Missouri law to help out with that. But I will say this, that there would be no reason to search him for weapons if he had not committed a crime. Now, if there was a disturbance beforehand, then that might make it different. And by the way, I'm no lawyer. I don't know anything about Missouri law. But the idea of a pat down is still requires that there be suspicion of criminal activity. Reasonable, articulable suspicion. All right, just to kind of recap where we've been today. When I got over here, we were able to get the blinds down. The black woman that always wears the headdress or the headband, she tried to come out and pass off flyers. She was unable to. I gave her the OT3 rundown. And then she tried to pass off a flyer. I let the people know about the Danny Masterson story. They were very shocked that, oh my gosh, why did they do that? And I said church, and then there was two people. The one person said, church? And I said, well, it's really a cult. And they said, yeah, we understand, but it is the church. You know what's really fun is trying to get AI to say Thetan. You'll get Thetan, Thetan, Thetan. Let me quickly do this. Oh, I might put on minimum, but this is my new press element, and you can see that I've got the body cam on. It's got plenty of pockets. The reason I had press put on the front is it just is another barrier for the police to say, for me to tell the police to go pound sand, that I have no desire to have any consensual talks with you. All right. I don't know what that was, but it looked like word salad. And then if you look at the live last night, and I think it was pretty early on, you can see on the back it says Windy City Thetan Watch, and on the lower part of the back it says ask me about the cult. I'm gonna head down the street real quick. I don't think that they're gonna send that new recruit out the back. That would be very odd because it's just too suspicious to say, hey, welcome to our new church. You'll love all this stuff. Why don't you go out the back door? But I will go back there just to see if anybody's trying to sneak out. And again, sometimes I do this move just because I can't stand in one place for that long. Hey, Papa, is that a victory dance for Nance that Beertology is starting? Thank you for stopping by, Lady Jane. Definitely like, subscribe, share. Subscriptions are 95% off today. I think that makes them free. Yeah, go back to the org. I don't know if you can see right, but he had come down trying to smoke a cigarette. It's a powerful force. I've got you into the fence because I'm facing people coming at me.
I mean, how do you feel about their
Yeah, Miss Bramlett reminds us of something, and I want to make a slight differentiation between the two statements. That she had mentioned that Jenna, Aaron, Mike Brown, one other, it might have been Natalie, but regardless, several ex-Scientologists were just doing a Friday night chat, and in the chat it was mentioned that they have been asking publics to go in the back door and move through the alleys and stuff of that nature. That's slightly different because a public is somebody who's already in, right? This person that I'm mentioning, he's a new recruit to raw meat, and again, I hate the term raw meat, but it is a Scientology term. So he's one that wouldn't understand, what do you mean I have to go out the back door? Whereas a public, they've been indoctrinated by all of the propaganda of the church that, oh, there's evil people out there and we don't want you to have to hear that. So. Hey, Papa, just as a region, what area of the country are you in? Or if you want to give your street address too, but I'd encourage you just give me a region. Me, you know what? Oh, that's a region further east than I had anticipated. Let me see if I can do this real quick. Using the stick of truth. Can we see down the stairs? Darn it, where is Gargamel? Out of batteries or out of connection? Hey, Anastasia, if you were assaulted by somebody, would you want to be able to tell the police? Anastasia, will the church let you talk about the church? Because it's really suspect, right? If you can't talk about it, it seems like a cult. So she just turned up the volume on the speaker. Hey, Chris. I would have never guessed that you were Irish. So Chad's got another one. Don't give them your real name. Don't give them your real name. They're a cult. Don't give them your phone number. Don't give them your email. They're a human trafficking cult. Danny Masterson sexually assaulted 3 women. This church would not let those women report those crimes. That's what you're walking into. Look it up. Look it up. It's court. That's disheartening, but I will say that just like I had to work retail, they have to, you're right, there were more than 3 women that were assaulted. Only 3 of them were in the trial, right? They have him for now. Right, will they be able to keep on extorting him for more and more money? Who knows? Will they get him in for a billion-year contract? Who knows? I gave him the information I could. Yep. Yeah, it's, Oh, here comes somebody downstairs. So he's dressed in civilian clothes. So we'll see if he comes out the front door. You know they're a cult, right? They're a human trafficking cult. Danny Masterson sexually assaulted 3 women and was not allowed, those women were not allowed to go to the police. Look up Danny Masterson. Look up Lisa McPherson. Lisa McPherson is dead because of what they did. You've got your phone right there. Just look it up. Lisa McPherson. Will the church let you talk about the church? That's the definition of a cult, you know. I want to see if this is the, I'm going to walk down here. This might be the police, but it might also just be the college security campus. Toronto, can you hear that very well? Usually my mic isolates that pretty well. Yeah, so this is just campus security. All right, folks. We've been out here for just over an hour and 10 minutes. We've won some, we've lost some, but we shared some time together. I'm gonna head up the street. We'll walk a little bit through the city. If I can ask the mods to see if we've got another live out there, that would be great. Let's see if we can do a room raid. Folks, the reason we do these room raids is, again, it's to spread the love and to grow the anti-Scientology pie, right? We want to make sure that we get as many of these small channels get a foothold. And it's not to get these small channels together to go gang up on the big channels. The big channels are able to pull in their crowds very easily, but we know, right, that some people are going to get tired and they're going to walk away from the movement, and rightfully so, right? This is, trust me, this is a very, very, it saps energy out of you as you do it, okay? So people are going to fall away from this. So let's make sure that we're getting as many people as possible that foothold that allows the movement to continue growing and expanding. So if they're going to have to start walking everybody back, they can keep on trying to refute what I'm saying, but eventually people are going to look up this information, right? And oh, there goes Chad out the back. So he's going to go try and drag somebody else in. I'm going to walk over to the city center as we're looking for the next channel. Oh, there we go. We're going to head over to Eric the Raider, or Eric Raider's channel. All right, folks, let's head over to Eric Raider's channel. Let him know Windy City Thetan sent you. And I will meet you over there and we'll chat in just a minute. I'm going to get my headphones on. Thank you all.